Hello and welcome to the official YouTube channel and Facebook page of Digital Ideas. Today we are joined by someone really special. As I promised all of you, we'll be having Santosh Menon. Santosh is the head in India in terms of Instat, who produces the telecast of the Hero I League. And in the last season as well, it was Instat who came forward and took the initiative of running the show when no one was there in Indian football to take the responsibilities of showing it live in I League. It was Santosh who did it, and Instat, of course. And this time as well, it would be Instat only. And along with me, of course, we have today's host of the show. In fact, it's Ronak Majumdar. Ronak, all yours.
Thank you so much, Sumanda.
Thank you
First
so
of
much.
all, first of all, hearty welcome to Santosh sir. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your valuable time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Before we delve into the topic of the day, that is the telecast plans for the upcoming season in I League. The first question which I would like to ask you is, sir, how are you spending your time during these pandemic times? How difficult is it, or how easy it is?
Yeah, see, okay, it began with a little bit of a chaos. It just cut short suddenly in the middle of all our activities. And then after that, we were now looking at coming up with new solutions, new technologies, because going forward, it's going to be a different scenario. It's not going to be business as usual. So we have been busy working and testing some new technologies to make the production and the broadcast quality superior and also smooth operationally. So that's how the time, and then of course talking to various stakeholders and discussing how best we can roll out the coming year. I mean, but yes, still the dates are not finalized, but yeah, we are good to go as soon as they call us and say that we have to get going. In the back end, we are ready.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we move on to the today's topic, one thing which I would like to tell your audiences or our viewers is that we will be giving priority to the questions being asked on the YouTube platform. So please ensure that you are questioning on the YouTube channel. So, sir, to begin with, there's a huge possibility that Mohammedan SC is going to qualify from the second division, and East Bengal is going to stay in the I League. So if that happens, then what are the broadcasting plans from Instat for the derby, which is going to happen next season?
Yeah, we did biggest of derbies already, so we have done that. So we have learned a lot, and we have a very good team on the ground there in Kolkata who are capable of delivering the same quality and, the way it was all managed. So we have no issues, and we are looking forward to the challenge. We are just hoping and praying Mohammedan qualify and make it to the I League. Then it'll be very interesting shows.
Sumanda, are
Yeah.
you looking forward to the derby if it happens?
Of course, we all love Kolkata Derby, and I mean we all used to watch the East Bengal versus Mohun Bagan match in the Kolkata Derby over the years in the I League, except a few seasons. And I'm sure,
Yeah.
I mean, this year the Combox, taking the excitement of a match between Mohun Bagan, rather East Bengal versus Mohammedan Sporting, it would be a different fun because we all know, I mean, East Bengal do have their huge fan base. Mohun Bagan, of course, you have their fan base, but Mohammedan Sporting, they are the most popular team in the entire country, and they have fan
Correct.
base everywhere. So I'm sure if they play in the I League, it would be fantastic for the quality of the tournament as well.
True.
Right. So we'll be moving on to the first question from the audience. So we'll wait and see which question
Yes,
pops
Ron.
up.
Sure.
Ritam Basu asks, "Hi Santosh, what is the average cost of production for I League matches?"
See, we can't reveal that information because
Ritam
I
Basu.
yeah, Ritam Basu, a good question, but this is something that we cannot share in the public domain. But given the budget with which we are working, given by AIFF, it is at a very competitive pricing, and And from within that budget, we have tried to deliver the best quality production that's possible. Okay, so just the commercial part of it, I will not go into it,
Right.
if you don't
Let's
mind.
move on to
Yeah.
the next question.
Correct.
Sudipta Samanta is asking that Menon sir, okay, he has written in Bengali.
No problem. Tell me.
He's asking that please ensure Santosh sir that you challenge star sports directly during this filing by improving your telecast quality.
Definite. That's a challenge, and there's a benchmark that has been set up by Star Sports. But mind you, we are working at a fraction of the budget. But we have learned a lot. Yes, in the initial stages there were some hitches, and we have corrected that. And as I said, in the last lockdown was a pretty helpful in some way where we have improved the technology. So yes, there is a lot more. It's not going to be the same quality of broadcast as last year. It will be definitely on par. We are trying to be on par with the best out there.
Right. Before we go on to the next question, I would ask our viewers to kindly send in your questions to the YouTube channel because we will be giving priority to the YouTube channel. So, moving on to the next question, sir. What goes behind broadcasting a match, sir? I'll first ask you and then come to Sumanda about how difficult is it to commentate on a live match.
Yeah. Okay. Live broadcast is, the production is a what do you call it? There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. It's a whole, what do you call it? Like an orchestra. Everybody has to come together. And given the last year's experience, I'll tell you, given the short time frame that we had to get this all started within a couple of weeks, where normally you plan and work on such things 6 months ahead. So we were given like 3 weeks time to start the broadcast. So getting the equipment, the people, and the locations and everything. So it was a mammoth task to start with, but thanks to the great team that we've had, in on the ground at various locations, they really pulled it off, and it was what do you call it as a it was a challenge in the beginning, but it became very smooth towards the latter part of the season. But yeah, there's plenty of stories. Each location has so many stories. Each individual has stories. I could go on, and each of them, the kind of challenges they've faced to get to the stadium, to operate there, to and various things. So and technology wise as well, the internet connectivity, because we came up with the first, national level broadcast using purely through digital platform. So yeah, there was a lot, but yes, it is kind of streamlined and smooth now. So yeah, we can pick out each. Suman, of course, has his version of the story because, at the various cities, how he is reached, the challenge to get from the airport to the stadiums on time. So I'll leave it to
You recall
Suman
the
to
first game?
give
You
his.
recall the first game?
Yes, exactly.
It was indeed the story to remember. I'm just telling you, Ronak. It was the first game of the competition last year. It was at Aizwal, and it was Aizwal versus Mohan Bagan. And I reached at the airport around 11. The match was supposed to kick off at 2 p.m. So what happened was, like, I was just wandering for a car, and that was, I mean, the airport was chock a block because some minister was supposed to come or something like that. So fine, I didn't realize that it would be that difficult for me to reach the stadium. Usually, it takes around 1 hour to reach the Iceball Airport to the venue. Actually, it was around 1:10, I believe, and then all of a sudden 1:20, and I was almost 40 minutes away from the stadium. It was like that because at least 100 cars were there in the queue in the jam. And I called Santosh and I told Santosh, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Uh, in fact, I'm not sure whether I can reach the stadium by the time and all. And Santosh and me, both of us started panicking the first game of the tournament. I don't know what's gonna do and all that. Then all of a sudden, I got a bike taxi. So I left the car halfway. I took a bike taxi. And told me I'll be reaching the stadium in 20 minutes. And he took off on those dangerous roads, hilly roads and all. And the bike speed was around 110, 120
My
kilometers
God,
an hour.
my God. Yeah.
And
And you were
Santosh was
on
there. Yes.
exactly real-time information was.
Horrible. I reached there around 1:55. The game was supposed to begin at, I believe, at 1:54. We were supposed to be on live, I believe, on air.
Correct, correct. Yeah, we had to get the testing and so many things. But anyway, we pulled it off. That's the beauty.
Yes.
Insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Insane. We will move on to the next question from the audience.
Okay.
Devjit Sarkar is asking that what is the improvement you will be expecting in this year? How much percentage of improvement we can see this time? Technically, can you please explain your planning this time in terms of best quality?
Okay, yeah, I will tell you because see, improvement-wise, it'll be in terms of the technologies at both our end and at the TV channel One Sports, because earlier, there was a transition from D Sport to One Sport, and there was some disruptions there, and now they are also pretty much an established sports channel on all the TV station. So they also, their backend technology and our technologies are now kind of aligned. And with the new innovations, whatever he's asked, yeah, we are coming up with new innovations. We will be announcing it, but yeah, technically there are a lot of improvements. The quality of the graphics, the replays, the stats, more in-depth stats will be there during the broadcast, and of course, and we'll also have some fan engagement activation, which I cannot also tell you now because it will be done officially through the rights holders. So
Right.
there will be fan engagement. It will be a more interactive broadcast.
Right. So there's a question from my end that is all top leagues have a pre-match show, a mid-match show, and a post-match show. So is it something which you and Instat is planning to do?
Absolutely. We've been planning and discussing with our partners here, with the team, and trying to see how feasible, because earlier plan was to have it in the stadium, but that might be a challenge now with the given situation. So yes, remote real-time, shows and commentary and all of that is being worked. Yes, once it has been approved by everybody, that will be there will be a show. In fact, we are even hoping to have a weekly show, so that roundup of all the matches.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
look forward to it, and I guess our viewers will be will already
Yes.
be
Yes. Yes.
looking forward to it. So we will move on to the next question, please.
Sure.
Abhijit Sur is asking, with no Mohan Bagan this time, do you think there will be a huge drop in viewership?
Yeah, they will. I mean, see, as Suman told earlier, if of course Mohammedan Sporting gets promoted to the I League, I'm sure that will be more than compensated over there. In fact, I don't know, there will be even a spike in the viewership. So we don't have the data of last year yet, but definitely there will be, that gap will be filled by these teams for sure. Yeah.
Right. I'll move on to Sumanda. Sumanda, do you have something to ask or something
Mhm.
to share from your end?
Yeah, sure. We have a question to Santosh. It's not a question, just recapitulating the last season. I mean, many people know about very.
I didn't. Your audio
Your voice,
is a little disrupted.
your voice is dropping
Sorry.
a bit.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
better. Yes.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that people watch it on the television and they
Mm-hmm.
find it very easy to telecast a game. But being there behind the
Mm-hmm.
screen, you please tell us the story. I know it, but I think the viewers should know exactly how it takes to split off a game.
Yeah, to pull off game, I mean, yeah, see, because it was in multiple, we had in 10 different cities across the country, and, with different teams working on the ground, and, the technology, I mean, the platform had to be tested one day before. So the challenges and certain locations, they had curfew, like Srinagar, for example, is a lockdown area from that time. And our crew has done some amazing, ways to get to the stadium. They've gone trekking through the mountains and, stuff like that, because to get to the stadium, there was either traffic or there was, a lockdown, and they allow you only on the day of the match. So the day before the match, when they had to go and test the equipment, they have done some, a lot of circus to get there and do all this and deliver. And each person that is working, right from a sound technician to the director, the commentator, the cameraman, each of them played a very important role. Yeah, and then I was managing all of them from here, and in the back end we had AFF managing all of us as well, and their team AFF was very cooperative, and they went beyond their call of duty to help out during the tough times. So we all worked as partners in this, right from the production team to the broadcast team. Everybody came, even people not involved directly with the production, right from your taxi guys to the airport authorities. When you said IB and that we are here to do this, everybody just opened and helped us. So it was a very good experience, and I know how much the country loves sports when you start doing such things, and everybody comes
Yeah,
forward to help.
correct. And we were doing games. I can still recall, Santosh. Uh, in Srinagar, there was not even the accessibility of the mobile phones at that point
Yes,
of
no
time.
mobile phones. Yeah, so you can't communicate. So SMS, we had to communicate only SMS. That was tough.
Correct. No prepaid connection, nothing else. And at the same time,
Nothing.
it was minus 3 degrees centigrade over there at Srinagar. We did games.
My God.
On that same
Yeah,
day, we had games in Goa, 39 degrees centigrade. That's the beauty
yeah.
of Indian football.
That's the beauty of I League, I would say, because it covers
Correct.
from Kashmir to literally Kanyakumari, from Kerala and then east to west, and you have the biggest fan base in I League, and that's the real passion of football, which is has to be nurtured and built upon.
Correct.
All right.
I have a small problem before you ask the next question.
Please, please.
Which city gave you the maximum number of, I mean, maximum amount of challenge rather to play the game? Because I know it was tough first season, but still, I mean, all the cities were doing different sort of setup and all. In fact, last season was even more difficult because the way Indian football was broadcasted previously, the way we did it last year, it was completely different. The technology was different. Which
Mhm.
city troubled you initial time?
I would say we had difficulty. Actually, the no, every most places we had in the initial time in the first game or two. If you're starting from Kozhikode, Coimbatore, and then we had problems in Ludhiana. Uh, and yeah, the rest all were pretty smooth. But yes, in these three locations, we had Goa. Goa, we had challenges, and we had to literally try two three other different crew until we got the right team in place. So yeah, these were the main challenges. So not location wise, it was just operationally in the starting there was some challenges, and of course in between some matches here and there was either technical or personnel kind of challenges, which there were some disruptions during the telecast, or the quality was not so great. That's
Right.
my answer. Yeah.
Right. Before we move on to the next question from the audience, one thing which I want to ask you is that how difficult is it to manage disruptions during a live match? If something goes wrong during a live match, how do you manage? Like it is next to impossible in my thought. But how do you manage?
Correct. I mean, I will say in the beginning it was a challenge because the solutions were tough. we had to do some R&D because during testing everything worked fine, and we tried worst case scenarios 1, 2, 3, and everything was working fine. But then a completely unknown challenge comes up during lifetime, and then we had teams here in India. We had some of our technology partners are there in Israel and then in Russia and Hong Kong. So we everybody came, and we spent hours, even not during live telecast, trying to fix it. So I would say, we spent many days on conference calls trying to fix it, because there is a vendor for each, for the transcoder, for the what do you call it, for the satellite and internet service provider. There is about a dozen different vendors who are coming together. Each has their own knowledge on one product. So as I said, it's like a orchestra trying to put everything together. Yeah.
Right. We will move on to the next question.
Sure.
Ritam Vasu has again asked that how much has Suman Chakraborty, the commentator, improved over the years?
Tremendously. I mean, in the sense, he was always good. He needed probably this full-time break, what I think this last season gave, and also the right team. I think we all were motivating each other. So he is definitely calm, and I see him going big places with this new initiative of digital ideas. Plus, his reach in Indian football is, I think, one of the best amongst the commentators of that level. So definitely, you will be seeing a lot of him going forward.
Right. Sumanda, asking you how has been your experience so far, if you were to rate your journey?
Uh, Honestly speaking, you know what? Commentary is a kind of a thing like it's just the voice you need in an
Hmm.
orchestra. Uh, we
Correct.
If we think that a football match is a film, then commentator is the voice of the film. So it's difficult at times because you know people who watch it on the television, they don't understand what's going around on the field or behind the screen. So even if the telecast quality is bad, if you are the commentator, people are hearing you. So I mean, they will abuse you. It's as simple as that, and it's not easy. But honestly,
Correct.
working with Santosh in the last season, I have worked with all top channels over the years. 10 Sports. I've worked with Sony 6, Star Sports, and of course, Neo Sports, uh, and of course, Doordarshan. I mean, all channels actually, all TV channels. But I mean, working with One Sports or D Sport, yes, we had some challenges in the last year, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But if after every game, I can still recall that we used to have a call, me and Santosh, and we used to
Correct.
discuss about how to improve in the next game.
Hmm.
And
Very
being
true.
the supremo of the broadcast, the way Santosh used to listen all the things which he used to discuss or used to ask me the question, I used to feel very much humbled about the entire fact that, I mean, he is the head of the broadcast. But still, the way he used to ask me, someone, what do you think? What's gonna happen in the next game? What sort of things we can improve? And that improves you as a professional. If
Absolutely.
the top boss does it like that, it eases your work. And Santosh was like that.
No,
So it was a
I
different
think it's
experience
mutual.
altogether.
Yeah, yeah. It was mutual because we exchanged thoughts, and as I told you, we helped each other in terms of motivated each other, and like that, we have a bunch of members in this whole group who all came together and see our passion was for football and for Indian football, for I League to do well. So then nothing else. There was no egos. There was no anything that came into play, and we just gave it all our 100%.
Okay, next question.
Vijit Sur is asking that Suman's commentary is of top class, but it's a one-man army. We don't find a duo in it. Why not bring in someone who is equal to Suman for a duo? What is your thought for that?
Definite, yeah, it is something that we already had planned last year, but for various reasons, it couldn't materialize. But yes, now with new technologies in place, it will be definitely more than one voice. So we will be having, at least two people.
Right. Going on to
Yeah.
Sumanda, Sumanda, who has been the best co-commentator with you over the years? Like if you were to name one or two at most.
Well, it's tough. It's tough to tell because I worked with some stalwarts. Uh, I worked with so many outstanding commentators, like people like Pradeep Roy, even who has been in the trade for the last 40 years in Bangla commentary. I worked with in English commentary as well. I worked with some outstanding commentators over the years, like Novi and all. But I personally believe the person uh, who two people I'd be taking the names in fact in terms of English commentary. Of course, one is Novi because my first co-commentator was Novi. So he was the first one who showed me. I didn't even know how to hold the lip microphone. He was the one who first showed it during a game live. So this is the way to hold it. Back in 2014. And one person, of course, I'd be loving to take the name, and his name is Devan Sen. I mean, the best combination, if you ask me, who was your best partner in the commentary box? Uh, Me and Devan used to have a telepathic combination. I mean, like we used to read each other actually. It's unfortunate that Devan no more does commentary these days. In fact, I mean, he's completely into journalism these days, but he was the one who, I mean, we used to complement each other. That was something really exciting. He's a fantastic reader of the game, and I firmly believe that he used to know when I'll stop. I mean, usually what we do is that when we don't say something, we just keep the lip microphone down on the table. But with Devayan, I mean, we didn't require that actually. He used to do like, I knew that he'd be saying something, and he knew that I would be saying something. So it's a telepathic combination. So I really used to love working with Devayan.
Excellent. So I have one question. Again, I would have a question for you, sir, and then I will go to Sumanda.
Sure.
That is talking about the famous Calcutta Derby, that is East Bengal and Mohan Bagan. Over the years, do you have some stories to share? That something which you want to share, that what happened, or something of the crowd, the engagement which you got, or something of that sort? Any stories related to the Derby?
Stories, yeah. See, one we all know it is like the most important game in the country, or in this region, because when you have a stadium with, I think, 70 to 80,000 people, and an audience which is not there, bigger than that, watching it on TV. So the build up to it itself is a big, call it. Not challenge, but it's exciting, and there is a lot of focus on this particular game, and we try and check that there is no glitches, and a lot of time is spent, additional time, unlike other matches. And yes, I mean, being in Kolkata, being in this environment, it's something, what do you call it, real. The passion with which the fans are, shouting, and amazing. I can't explain it in words, but it is something to experience. It's a beautiful. It's something that's the beauty of this game when you see that kind of an audience. and
Sumanda,
and even some of our other people, when we show and describe about this, they just shake their head. It's like, really, you did such a big event. It is something
absolutely.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Sumanda, one of the fondest memories from the Derby, or any experience which you would want to share with us?
Before anything else, I'd like to say one thing. Santosh missed it last time. Ask him.
Yep, in the last one. Correct. Exactly.
I told
It
you
was
to come
tough.
down to Kolkata.
I know. And we said next time, but now we don't know, right? That same thing will never happen for a while.
Yeah, because of the COVID situation. But
Mm-hmm.
one more thing I want to add. The best derby experience, if you ask me, it was back in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
I heard a lot about the Kolkata derby. Being a Bong, uh, it's understandable that Kolkata derby is the biggest pulse if you're a sports lover. And every Bong is a sports lover. So I heard that the players used to get nervous before the derby. They stopped taking even water and blah blah blah. The first time when I did a derby, it was 14th of February, I believe, back in 2015 I League. My first derby as a commentator. And at that point of time, we used to have pre-match, mid-match, and post-match shows on the ground. And Salt Lake Stadium was not renovated. So 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh people you can expect over there in the stadium. So what I can still recall is that, in fact, I was feeling like the heart is beating faster before the match day. When I entered from the tunnel before the start of the game, even it was around 1 hour to go for the kickoff. And at that point of time, I League was the only existing league, rather, in the country, and all top players used to play in that league. I just entered from that travel with the pitch, actually. I just put my head up, and for a minute or something, I cannot remember what happened with me. The entire stadium was buzzing, and the stadium I cannot express in words. It's still giving goosebumps.
Correct.
And I was a young commentator, dreaming big. I can still recall the pre-match show which I did before the start of the game. It was on the ground, and as I was doing the most of the games, people started knowing me. And what happened was like the entire stadium was like I cannot even look at them, because I mean the moment I was feeling like I should look at them, I was feeling like I'm nervous. And when the camera was in front of me, I was feeling like, should I watch on the camera or should I look at there, and then should I look at the people who are standing over there? And then I recalled one thing which I learned from the great John Helm,
Mm-hmm.
commentator, my mentor, I call him, that never think who is there on the stands. Never think. You just feel you have one person who is watching you, and that is the camera which is in front of you, where you're giving the look. And at that point of time in the 2014 I League, there used to be three cameras who used to, focus you for the live shows.
Mm-hmm.
So they used to tell me that, I mean, this is your camera. So I started thinking like, this is the one, and this is the one I'm talking to. The rest I forgot, and that really worked. So that derby experience I'll never forget. People cheering like that. Me and Chima Okeri were there, in fact, in the com box in the show, and I couldn't even hear my voice when I was there on the pitch. That was quite exciting.
Excellent. So we will move on to the next question from the viewers.
Okay.
Sajid Ali Sardar is asking that MSC second division.
Okay.
Okay, so he's asking that Mohammedan Sporting's second division match was supposed to be telecasted by Instead. So, have you got the rights to telecast it?
No, no, no. I mean, this is something we've offered, but it hasn't been finalized yet. Yeah, we would love to do it. We want to do it. So
Right.
we're waiting for the invitation to get that done.
Right. We'll move on to the next question from the viewers. Devjit Sarkar is asking that in terms of broadcast quality, whether I-League and ISL would be same this year or 20-30% more viewers would be expected this year during this lockdown period. Are you
Yes,
expecting a surge in viewership during the pandemic time?
definitely, definitely, and one because a the quality, and two with some innovative, fan engagement kind of, activities, so that we are expecting definitely more viewers, and the real fans will definitely be there to follow every match, and with of course with given the lockdown, there is definitely added percentage of viewers that are going to come because of that. So,
Right. Before we move on to the next question from the audience, one question I have from my end is that do you think that managing the crew members and having everyone during this pandemic is going to be a huge hassle, or is it going to be an issue which needs to be thought about?
yeah, the crew members are okay in terms of managing them is not an issue. Yes, only the travel of the crew is something that we need to fix, and depends, right? If it's going to be like last year with 10 cities, or is it going to be in one city or two cities? So managing the crew is, I don't think, the problem. Yeah, the travel of the crew is something that can be a challenge. But as I said, technology-wise, there's a lot of remote work that we'll be doing. So the crew will be, not as many as like last time. So there is going to be some improvements, and the platform is also different little bit. So yeah, challenges will be there, but it's not going to be a big issue even with this lockdown period.
Right. We'll move on to the next question from the viewers. Prince Pavijit is asking how many cameras are there for a telecast. I think you should increase the number of cameras. Okay.
Yeah. See, we were using six cameras, but we are proposing to add two more in the goal, so that to make it. But yeah, given the budget, I mean, we can do even 16 camera. But the thing is, there is a constraint in terms of the budget, so we have to work, and this is what we have agreed for six. But we may add two more within that same budget, and make it more entertaining and have a different angles to the same broadcast.
Right. We'll move on to the next question. Let's see who is there on the screen. We are receiving a lot of questions from the YouTube channel. Avijit sir,
Yeah.
what about commentary in different languages? In a 90-minute match, 30 minutes each of English, Bengali, and Hindi language commentary. Just a unique thought. What's your say on it? So he's basically asking that if we can have a mix of three languages during our match.
See, it's a good idea. I mean, this is something we have thought about, but we can't offer it on the main broadcast in the telecast feed. But if there is on the digital channels, yes, regionally, if somebody is watching it in Kolkata, there could be, with a translation or thing in real time. So we have the technology that can do it in each state. People can listen to it in their own language. But yeah, these are things that has to be agreed by the rights holders, and if they're willing to, then it is possible. Yeah,
What
it
is
is.
your thought on the same, Sumanda? Yes, you were saying something?
No, then that's what I
Yeah,
said. It's possible from our end, but yeah,
right,
the stakeholders all have to agree.
right. So what is your take on the same, Sumanda? What do you think? Is it possible?
I think whether it's possible or not, Santosh is the best man to answer, not me.
Yeah,
So I
the
think
the,
it
the,
depends on
the
the
suggestion of 30 minutes each, that definitely is not going to work. In the 90
exactly.
minutes.
That is
It
not.
will be in one language
I
right through, and it's predominantly English or Hindi, but English for now. But yeah, if it is on local digital channels, yes, it will be in local languages.
Right.
else 30 minutes each. I have heard about multiple captaincy, multiple language commentary. It would be something like dal khichdi.
Yeah, you're
I'll
neither
go to
here nor
Sumanda. I'll go to Sumanda next. Sumanda, do you have a question to ask?
Mhm.
Yeah. I have a question to Santosh. Like, uh, I mean, very few know about it. I mean, like, if it comes in terms of the broadcasting rights when Instat came forward and took it. Because when the All India Football Federation required a channel or a broadcasting house who can do it or who can deliver last season, there was
Yeah,
not even a single one who came forward and said, okay, fine, we'll be telecasting the I League.
correct.
What exactly motivated Instat to take the job of broadcasting the games?
Okay, yeah, it's a good question because you need to know the history of how it all happened. Yeah, we've been reading in the media, and everybody. It was out there that there was a no broadcaster because Star Sports had backed out, and plus there was these issues in the I League with there was no roadmap. There was all this clashes that were going and on. So I League as a possibility itself was in question at that moment because no broadcast. There's nobody, there was a split, when teams didn't participate in the Super Cup, all of that. And there was all this friction that was going on in Indian football. And it was a time of uncertainty. Uh, I actually, did something that helped because, in the sense, I realized this was an opportunity also, to help Indian football to come in and step in and say, okay, if you guys agree, we can help you. We have a solution without much of investment from all of you because that was also a challenge because of all the stakeholders. uh, that's why the Star Sports conversation broke down. So we offered, in fact, I remember discussing this with some of the team owners, and one person I must thank in the show is Ranjit Bajaj because he was instrumental. The moment he heard that we can do this, he was actually going on a flight. I mean, he was traveling to Kuala Lumpur because that's where the next day they had a meeting with AFC and ISL teams and I League teams for that roadmap discussion, right? Which they came up with, which was a compromise deal with all the parties. So this was something really that what do you call it? It was like a catalyst that made this whole deal happen. And he immediately grabbed it. He said, "Can you come to KL tomorrow?" I said, "Oh my God, I don't. That's too short a notice. But we won't be able to make it for the meeting. But here is a presentation. You please make the presentation." So he has done the presentation on behalf of us and said, "Here is a partner who can come and it can save us." And from there, things were just went on a fast track. And
Right. So
even
is there
within Instat, even Instat was also not aware there's an opportunity in India. And I had to sell them this idea also. And, it was a battle because they have certain standards and a pricing model. So I had to stretch both parties to come and meet and agree, So it's a bit challenge. For me, the motivation was Indian football. So I had to make this happen for the sake of football.
excellent? So is there any specific lessons which is or any specific takeaway which you have from the past season?
Oh, plenty of lessons, and starting from our crew deployments to how we handle various levels of the whole distribution, and also it was also new because it was my first experience in dealing directly with all the different locations and teams. So yeah, it was a lot of good experience, and we've learned that there's a fantastic set of people out there who are very eager to participate, partner, help, and just because for the love of the game. That's it.
Right. We will be moving on to the questions from the viewers. We will be taking the last two
So
questions from our viewers.
okay.
The young monk is asking that how many years we have to wait to introduce VR into Indian football. What is your take? I would like to ask this to both of the.
Yeah.
Uh,
See, VAR is a debated subject already, but technology-wise, we have it. In fact, our technology is being used in certain locations in Europe, and this is something from the governing council. I mean, they have to decide and come up because but we are ready. If they tell us this season you have to introduce VAR, the technology-wise, we are ready. So, I will leave that the decision to AIFF to take. Yeah.
right. What do you think, Subhanda? Is VAR a possibility?
Santosh has given the answer. I just want to add something that if it doesn't create controversy, it's good.
Yeah. It is a very debatable subject, but yeah, technology advancement is definitely going to happen. It will. It's See, if VAR doesn't happen this season, it will happen eventually sometime. So
Correct.
that is for sure.
Right.
So
We'll
yeah.
take the last question from our viewers.
Hmm.
Abhijit Sir, he's telling that, sir, please come forward and take the telecasting rights of the Calcutta Football League with all the three big clubs in it. Do you have any plans for it? Actually, no,
Yes.
three only.
Yes,
Any
definitely, Abhijit. Thanks for asking. Yeah, this is something that is already in our plate and it's being discussed. So let's keeping fingers crossed. We will be doing it.
Excellent. So before we end the show, I have one last question for you, and that is, sir, do you think with the introduction of Facebook and the Netflix and all of these things, we can see that La Liga is being has Facebook has taken the broadcasting rights for La Liga in India. So
Correct.
moving forward, is OTT going to be the future for broadcasting? What is your take on that?
No doubt about it. That is definitely the direction that is going to be. As I said, digital platform is where the growth is going to be, and globally the trend is that the cord cutting, as you call it, people are not subscribing for satellite dishes anymore, or rather, the growth of that is lower than the growth of OTT subscriptions. So, sports is something that is definitely yeah, this is what do you call it? Its destiny is through OTT because most people subscribe dish TV because of interest in sports, but you don't watch the other 500 channels that they give you free, but you're paying for it all. Here in OTT, you can pick and choose the channels you like, and the interactions with teams, players is more feasible on an OTT platform. So yeah, the future is that, and through digital. I mean, even Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, these are all platforms to watch because that's where a lot of action is going to be.
I think with that, we have come to the end of our show. Thank you so much, Santosh, sir, for joining us and giving us your valuable time.
A
And I
pleasure.
want to thank Sunda as well for joining us today. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Rona. Thank you, Sumar. Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you
Happy to be
so
here.
very much, Santosh, for coming.
Thank you, Sumar. It has been an absolute pleasure discussing, our favorite sport here.